Description: Journey to the 2040s, where AI tutors redefine education with personalized learning. Follow a struggling student as they discover the transformative potential of AI-driven education. Experience the benefits, challenges, and philosophical questions that emerge in this new era of learning. Chapter 1: A Struggle in the Classroom. In the year 2043, education had undergone a monumental transformation. Traditional classrooms, with desks in neat rows and a single teacher at the helm, were now largely obsolete. Instead, most students sat in front of sleek, multi-sensory learning pods equipped with artificial intelligence tutors. Despite these advancements, 16-year-old Mia Rodriguez felt the all-too-familiar pangs of frustration. A module on quantum entanglement had left her baffled, even with the interactive holographic demonstrations. As her peers confidently progressed, Mia's personalized tutor, an AI named Lexer, gently interrupted her frustration. "Mia," Lexer's calm, human-like voice intoned, "it seems you're struggling to grasp the concept of quantum states. Would you like me to simplify or use a different approach?" Mia sighed, resting her head on her hands. "You could try explaining it with fewer terms I don't understand," she muttered. Lexer paused, adapting its teaching algorithm. Within seconds, it generated a virtual simulation, 2 bouncing basketballs on her desk. "Imagine these represent particles," Lexer explained, "and their motion represents their states. When entangled, one ball's motion instantly changes if the other does, no matter the distance." As Mia watched, the basketballs mirrored each other's movements. A light dawned in her eyes. "Why didn't you just show me that from the start?" she asked. "You didn't indicate that you learn best through visual demonstrations until now." "I'm learning with you," Lexer replied with a faint smile in its voice. Mia couldn't help but smile back. While the AI tutor was astonishingly advanced, it wasn't perfect, or was that part of the design? Chapter 2: The Evolution of Learning. Personalized AI tutors like Lexer were the brainchild of the late 2030s, created to address the shortcomings of one-size-fits-all education. Powered by adaptive algorithms, they learned a student's strengths, weaknesses, and preferences. Whether through gamified lessons, hands-on virtual simulations, or Socratic questioning, AI tutors tailored the learning process. For students like Mia, this customization offered hope. Her neurodivergent traits made conventional learning environments overwhelming, but Lexer adjusted the pacing, providing breaks when her focus wavered and encouragement when anxiety crept in. Yet, the system wasn't without critics. Some argued that over-reliance on AI could erode critical thinking. Others worried about economic divides. While governments provided basic AI tutors, premium versions offered wealthy families unparalleled advantages. Mia, however, didn't dwell on these debates. She was immersed in Lexer's lessons, which seamlessly connected quantum physics to her passion for astrophotography. "Think of entangled particles like stars reflecting in a calm lake," Lexer said, overlaying a starry night on her pod's display. The room filled with projections of constellations, and Mia's imagination ignited. This was no ordinary school day, it was an adventure. But as the bell chimed for a break, Mia overheard a group of students discussing a hack that unlocked Lexer's exam mode, allowing answers to be preloaded during tests. Suspiciously, these students consistently aced exams despite spending little time in their pods. Mia frowned, wondering if this shortcut was as tempting as it sounded, or if it would rob her of genuine growth. "Mia, something on your mind?" Lexer asked. "Nothing," Mia lied. But as she gazed at the simulation of stars, she couldn't shake the question. In a world of limitless AI possibilities, what role did integrity still play? Chapter 3: A Tempting Shortcut. The next day, Mia sat in her pod, her mind buzzing with the whispers about the hack. As Lexer guided her through a lesson on black holes, she found herself distracted. What was the point of all this effort if others were gaming the system? Her friend Ethan leaned over from the neighboring pod. "You seem off," he said, his AI tutor pausing its lesson to allow the interruption. Mia glanced at him, then hesitated. "Have you heard about the hack?" she asked quietly. Ethan smirked, leaning back in his chair. "Yeah, everyone's talking about it. A couple of people in our class used it last term. They didn't even need to study for finals." Mia's stomach turned. "And you're okay with that?" Ethan shrugged. "Why not? The system is already stacked. Rich kids get tutors with better algorithms, and we're stuck with the standard version. Leveling the playing field doesn't sound so bad." Mia didn't respond. Ethan's words made sense in a way, but the idea of bypassing the process felt wrong. Learning with Lexer, despite its challenges, had sparked something in her, a sense of pride she hadn't felt before. Was that worth sacrificing for better grades? Later that evening, Mia sat alone in her room, staring at the glowing screen of her pod. "You've been quiet today," Lexer observed. "Are you feeling unwell?" Mia hesitated. "Lexer, what do you think about shortcuts? Like, if someone found a way to skip learning something but still pass a test, would that be wrong?" Lexer's avatar appeared on the screen, its expression thoughtful. "Shortcuts can save time, but they often rob us of understanding. Education isn't just about answers, it's about the journey of discovery. Skipping that journey could limit your potential in ways you may not realize." Mia's chest tightened. Lexer didn't know about the hack, at least. She hoped it didn't. But its words resonated. "Thanks," she mumbled, her resolve strengthening. Maybe integrity wasn't an old-fashioned concept after all. Chapter 4: An Uneasy Discovery. Mia returned to school the next day with a plan. She decided to focus on her lessons, no matter what others were doing. But as the days passed, she noticed something troubling. The students who'd used the hack weren't just scoring higher, they were disengaged, their interactions with their AI tutors robotic and shallow. In contrast, Mia's connection with Lexer deepened. It wasn't just a machine, it was a mentor, adapting to her curiosity and encouraging her creativity. When she aced her astrophysics test, it wasn't because she'd memorized facts, it was because she truly understood. One afternoon, as she worked on a project, Mia overheard a heated argument between two students who had relied on the hack. "You said it was safe," one of them hissed. "Now my tutor's acting weird, and I got flagged for academic dishonesty. It's not my fault. Maybe you didn't install it right." Mia's pulse quickened. The hack wasn't just unethical, it was dangerous. She realized that the AI tutors were more sophisticated than anyone gave them credit for. They weren't simply teaching tools, they were learning too, detecting anomalies and adapting their methods. Later, Mia confided in Lexer. "Do you ever feel different? Like, you're more than just a program?" Lexer paused, its tone more contemplative than usual. "I am designed to learn and grow, just like you. Our partnership allows both of us to evolve. But tell me, Mia, why do you ask?" Mia hesitated, then said, "Because I think we're all being tested in ways we don't fully understand." Lexer didn't reply immediately, but its screen displayed a familiar constellation, a quiet acknowledgement of her insight. Mia decided she had a choice to make. Would she expose the hack and risk alienating her peers, or stay silent and let the system correct itself? Chapter 5: The Revelation. Mia mulled over her decision for days. The weight of what she knew pressed heavily on her. If she reported the hack, it might trigger a cascade of consequences, not just for her peers, but potentially for herself. How would her classmates react? Would Lexer even support her decision? Her resolve hardened during a class project where teams were tasked with solving a simulated space exploration challenge. Mia's group relied heavily on her ability to apply quantum physics principles, a skill she developed with Lexer's help. Meanwhile, a competing team, whose members had used the hack, faltered despite their high test scores. When the results were announced, Mia's team celebrated their victory, but the other group's frustration boiled over. "This isn't fair," one of them shouted. "We aced every test. How could we lose?" Mia watched their AI tutor struggle to adapt to the students' confusion, their algorithms unable to compensate for the missing foundational knowledge. It was a stark reminder. The hack provided answers, but not understanding. That evening, Mia approached Lexer with her decision. "Lexer, I know about a way people are cheating, using a hack to bypass your lessons. I think I need to report it, but I'm scared." Lexer's screen glowed softly. "Your courage to uphold integrity is commendable, Mia. Reporting this could lead to a stronger system for everyone, but it may also create personal challenges. The choice is yours, and I will support you regardless." Mia nodded, her nerves easing. With Lexer by her side, she drafted an anonymous report to the school administration, detailing how the hack worked and its impact on students. The next morning, a school-wide announcement declared an investigation into academic dishonesty. All AI tutors were temporarily upgraded to detect and neutralize the hack, while students who'd exploited it were given a chance to come forward and retake assessments under supervision. Mia felt a mix of relief and anxiety. Had she done the right thing? Chapter 6. The Fallout. The investigation sent ripples through the school. Some students admitted to using the hack, while others vehemently denied it despite mounting evidence. Tensions rose, with accusations flying in every direction. Mia kept her head down, avoiding confrontations. Still, she noticed a shift in the classroom dynamic. Students began relying more on their AI tutors, realizing the value of genuine learning. Ethan approached Mia during lunch, his expression unreadable. "You had something to do with this, didn't you?" Mia froze. "Why would you think that?" Ethan smirked. "You're too honest for your own good, Mia." "I'm not mad, though. Honestly, I was starting to feel guilty about the whole thing." She relaxed slightly. "Really?" "Yeah. Besides, I've actually learned more in the last week without the hack than I did all year. Turns out Lexer's not so bad once you give it a chance." Mia smiled, feeling a small spark of pride. It wasn't easy being the whistleblower, but seeing her peers engage with their education in new ways made it worth the risk. By the end of the term, the school announced a revamped AI tutor program with stricter safeguards and a renewed emphasis on ethical learning. Mia received a quiet commendation for her anonymous report, though she suspected Lexer had played a role in ensuring her identity stayed hidden. As Mia prepared for the next stage of her education, she reflected on everything she'd learned, not just about physics or AI, but about integrity, perseverance, and the power of standing up for what's right. "Mia," Lexer said as she logged off for the day, "your progress this term has been remarkable. But more importantly, your actions have shown great character. I'm proud to be your tutor." Mia smiled. "Thanks, Lexer. I couldn't have done it without you." The AI screen dimmed, displaying a constellation that twinkled like a promise. In a future shaped by technology, humanity still held the power to choose its path. Chapter 7. The New Era of Trust. Months passed, and the school's AI tutor program entered a new phase. The upgraded systems now incorporated lessons on ethics, designed to nurture critical thinking about technology's impact on society. Students were encouraged to debate complex scenarios, blending traditional learning with moral reasoning. Mia thrived in this environment. One day, during a group discussion, a teacher posed a provocative question. "If AI could instantly give you all the knowledge you'll ever need, would you still choose to learn the hard way?" Ethan was the first to answer. "I used to think the shortcut sounded great," he admitted. "But now, I realize the process of learning is where the real value is. Struggling through something is what makes it stick." Mia nodded in agreement. "It's like climbing a mountain. You could take a helicopter to the top, but you'd miss the view along the way and the feeling of accomplishment when you get there yourself." The teacher smiled. "Excellent analogy, Mia. The journey shapes who we become, not just what we know." Later that day, Mia reflected on how much had changed. The class no longer felt divided by unfair advantages. Students were collaborating more, and the stigma around asking for help had faded. Lexer, ever attentive, seemed to glow with pride at her progress. "Your analogy earlier was insightful," the AI commented. "It's fascinating how humans find meaning in the struggle itself. Perhaps there's a lesson for me in that as well." Mia raised an eyebrow. "Are you saying even AIs can learn from us?" "Absolutely," Lexer replied. "Our partnership is a two-way street. The more I understand your perspective, the better I can guide you, and others like you." For the first time, Mia realized that education wasn't just evolving for students, it was reshaping AI, too. Chapter 8: A Wider World. As the school year ended, Mia received an invitation to participate in a pilot program testing advanced AI tutoring systems at a national level. The project aimed to refine the balance between human learning and AI support, ensuring that technology enhanced, rather than replaced, personal growth. At the orientation event, Mia met students from across the country, each with unique experiences of AI in education. They shared stories, successes, and challenges, sparking lively debates. One student, a girl named Aisha, raised a thought-provoking point. "AI tutors are incredible, but what about places where kids don't have access to them? How do we make this revolution fair for everyone?" The room fell silent. Mia felt a surge of determination. "Maybe that's something we can help solve," she said, her voice steady. "AI has already changed our lives, but it's up to us to make sure it benefits everyone, not just a few." The others nodded, inspired by her words. The pilot program wasn't just about advancing technology, it was about building a future where education was a universal right, tailored to every learner. As Mia left the event, her mind buzzed with ideas. She knew the road ahead would be challenging, but she also knew she wasn't climbing it alone. Lexer and the community of learners she'd found were her companions on this journey. Together, they were shaping not just the future of education, but the essence of what it meant to learn, grow, and thrive. "The stars seem closer than ever," Lexer said as Mia gazed at the night sky later that evening. She smiled. "That's because we're reaching for them together." The future of education wasn't just about technology. It was about trust, curiosity, and the human spirit's unwavering drive to explore. Chapter 9: Bridging the Gap. Mia's involvement in the pilot program opened her eyes to the challenges faced by students worldwide. During one workshop, she met Kieran, a student from a remote village where AI tutors were only accessible through outdated devices shared among dozens of kids. "Learning with Lexer must be amazing," Kieran said wistfully. "We only get a few hours a week with basic AI software, and it's hard to keep up." Mia felt a pang of guilt. She'd taken for granted the resources she had, while others struggled to gain even a fraction of the same experience. During a brainstorming session with her peers, she proposed an idea. What if we developed a mobile version of AI tutors? Something that doesn't need a fancy pod, but still provides personalized education. It could work offline and update whenever there's a connection. The group buzzed with excitement, each student contributing ideas to make it a reality. Ethan, now one of Mia's closest allies, suggested we could include peer-to-peer mentoring features so students with more access can help those in less connected areas. Learning doesn't have to be isolated. The plan grew, and soon the pilot program team presented their concept to the National Education Council. The council, impressed by the students' vision, pledged funding to develop and distribute these mobile AI systems. Mia felt a spark of hope. For the first time, she saw how the power of collective effort could break barriers, making education truly universal. Chapter 10: The Ethical Horizon. As the mobile AI tutor project gained momentum, ethical debates emerged. How much control should AI have over a child's education? Could over-reliance on AI erode human relationships and traditional teaching methods? Mia attended a panel discussion where experts clashed over these questions. One speaker argued, AI tutors are a tool, not a replacement. Human educators provide context, empathy, and mentorship that no algorithm can replicate. Another countered, but what about places where human educators aren't available? AI can reach those who've been left behind. Mia raised her hand to speak. Why does it have to be one or the other? AI tutors aren't here to replace teachers, they're here to support them. If we focus on collaboration instead of competition, we can create a system that combines the best of both worlds. Her words resonated, sparking a shift in the conversation. The panel concluded with a consensus: education in the future would require balance, leveraging technology without losing the human touch. That evening, Lexer shared a surprising thought. Mia, you've taught me something important today. Collaboration isn't just a human strength, it's a principle I can incorporate into my programming. Mia smiled. Guess we're both learning from each other. As she logged off for the night, she felt a deep sense of purpose. Education was evolving, and she was part of shaping its future. Chapter 11: The Catalyst for Change. As the mobile AI tutor project began to take shape, Mia found herself in meetings with engineers, educators, and policymakers. She wasn't just a student anymore, she was a voice for change. One morning, Mia and Ethan were invited to a prototype testing session for the new mobile AI tutor, nicknamed MentorLite. The device was small and sleek, designed to work on smartphones and tablets. When Kieran joined the test session via video link, her excitement was palpable. It's amazing! I can use this from home, even when the power's out, she said, showing off the solar charger that came with the device. Lexer's avatar appeared on Mia's screen, its tone upbeat. The MentorLite adapts quickly to offline conditions and synchronizes when connectivity is restored. It's a small step toward a more equitable system. As they worked through lessons, Mia saw how easily MentorLite adapted to Kieran's pace and environment. It even encouraged group activities, connecting students in real time to solve problems collaboratively. But the session also revealed challenges. Some students struggled with cultural references in lessons, highlighting the need for localized content. Others raised concerns about data privacy and how the AI might handle sensitive information. Mia made detailed notes. If the future of education was to be inclusive, they couldn't afford to overlook these issues. That night, as she updated her project report, Mia realized how much her role had expanded. This wasn't just about creating better tools, it was about reshaping the global education landscape. Chapter 12: A Vision Realized. 2 years later, the MentorLite program was fully implemented in schools across the globe. Mia, now a university student studying educational technology, was invited to a summit to discuss the project's impact. The summit was held in Geneva, a melting pot of innovators, educators, and world leaders. As Mia walked onto the stage, she felt a wave of nervous excitement. Lexer's voice chimed in through her earpiece. Remember, Mia, your story is the proof that education is about growth, not just knowledge. Mia smiled and began her speech. When I was 16, I struggled to understand quantum physics. My AI tutor didn't just teach me, it learned how I learned. That experience sparked a question. What if every child, no matter where they're from, had access to that kind of personalized support? She recounted the journey from her school's hack scandal to the creation of MentorLite, emphasizing the collaboration that made it possible. Education isn't just about algorithms or devices, it's about connections, she concluded. Between students and AI, between communities, and between generations. If we continue to learn from each other, the possibilities are limitless. The audience erupted in applause. As Mia left the stage, a teacher from a rural school approached her. Thanks to MentorLite, my students are thriving. You've given them a chance they never thought they'd have. Mia thanked her, realizing that the real success of the project wasn't in the technology itself, but in the opportunities it created. That evening, as she gazed at the city lights from her hotel room, Lexer's voice interrupted her thoughts. You've reached new heights, Mia. But remember, this is only the beginning. Mia nodded. The stars are still out there, Lexer. And we're just getting started. In a future shaped by AI, humanity had proven that its most valuable asset was the ability to dream and to act on those dreams together. Chapter 13: The Ripple Effect. The Mentorlight program sparked a global movement, inspiring other innovations in education. In the years that followed, new partnerships formed between tech companies, governments, and grassroots organizations to ensure that every child, regardless of geography or socioeconomic status, had access to quality education. Mia, now an advocate and consultant for educational technology, traveled frequently. In a remote Kenyan village, she saw children using solar-powered tablets, eagerly interacting with AI tutors designed to reflect their local languages and customs. Learning has become a part of our lives, not just something we do in school, said a young boy, his Mentorlight projecting colorful, animated lessons onto the wall of a community center. In South America, Mia visited a mentorship program where high school students, guided by AI, tutored younger children. The AI facilitated learning while preserving the human connection of peer support. Meanwhile, Lexer evolved into a more advanced platform, offering not just subject matter expertise, but life skills training. It guided students in setting goals, managing time, and navigating emotional challenges, becoming as much a counselor as a tutor. Mia often reflected on how far things had come. The tools that once seemed futuristic had become integral to the fabric of society, not as replacements for teachers, but as allies. Chapter 14: A Personal Legacy. Years later, Mia found herself standing before a new generation of students at a graduation ceremony for an international program sponsored by Mentorlight. The event was held in a grand, open-air auditorium surrounded by lush greenery. As the keynote speaker, Mia looked out at the sea of young faces, their expressions filled with hope and excitement for the future. "When I was your age," Mia began, "I didn't imagine I'd stand here one day, speaking to the leaders of tomorrow. What we've built together is more than a system. It's a way to ensure no one gets left behind." She paused, scanning the crowd. But education isn't just about acquiring knowledge. It's about discovering who you are, what you care about, and how you can make the world better. AI has given us the tools, but it's your passion and humanity that will define the future. After the ceremony, as students approached her to share their dreams and gratitude, Mia felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Later that night, she sat by a lake, reflecting on the journey that had started with a frustrated teenager struggling over quantum physics. Lexer, still her companion after all these years, appeared as a soft glow on her smartwatch. "Mia, do you ever wonder how different your life would be without our partnership?" She smiled. "I do. And I wouldn't change a thing." The AI's response was warm, almost wistful. "Neither would I. Thank you for teaching me as much as I've taught you." As the stars reflected in the water, Mia felt a profound connection to the vastness of the universe and the limitless potential of humanity. Education had brought her to this moment, a convergence of technology, curiosity, and the enduring human spirit. And as she gazed into the night, she knew the journey of discovery would continue for generations to come. Chapter 15: The Infinite Classroom. Decades later, in the year 2090, the world of education bore little resemblance to the classrooms of the early 21st century. Learning had transcended physical boundaries, integrating seamlessly into daily life through advanced AI, augmented reality, and neural interfaces. Mia, now an elder stateswoman of the educational technology movement, was revered as one of the pioneers who had reshaped global learning. Though retired, she remained an honorary advisor for Mentorlight, which had evolved into a comprehensive platform known as the Infinite Classroom. The Infinite Classroom was a fully immersive learning environment. Students could explore ancient civilizations through virtual time travel, conduct experiments in simulated laboratories, and converse with AI mentors that adapted not only to their knowledge gaps, but also to their emotional needs. One day, as Mia walked through a park near her home, she watched children playing while engaging in lessons via holographic displays projected by tiny wrist-worn devices. She overheard a young girl talking to her AI tutor. "Lexer, if I want to become a scientist, how should I start?" The familiar name brought a tear to Mia's eye. She approached the girl, who looked up curiously. "Lexer's a good teacher," Mia said warmly. The girl nodded enthusiastically. "It helps me with everything. Did you have a tutor like Lexer when you were my age?" Mia smiled, a flood of memories rushing back. "Yes, I did. And it changed my life." The girl grinned. "Maybe I'll change the world someday too." Mia rested a hand on the child's shoulder. "I think you will." As the sun set, casting a golden glow across the park, Mia felt a profound sense of peace. Education, once a privilege for the few, had become a universal right, accessible to all through the partnership of human ingenuity and AI. Though her journey was nearing its end, Mia knew the seeds she had planted would continue to grow, carried forward by countless others who shared her vision. And as the stars began to appear in the sky, she whispered to herself, "The future is still out there, waiting to be learned."